Eddie, hi, can you hear me okay? Hi, Geezer. Oh, good, you can hear me now. All right, everyone else is somewhere else. And this thing was finally fixed. Doggone it. Okay, good. Hi, Mark. Oh, there is sound, Mark J. It should be fine now. Okay, good. Hey, Don. Mark, good. We ditched all the other guys. we can. Hi, Richard. Williams and Joseph. Hey, Junior. Is this a reply? Yeah. Oh, good. And I wonder what happened. Hey, Bruce Williams watches. we gotta all have to. Hey, Stuart, how are you? Mark. Okay, quite a few watch streams on now, but in choosing. Oh, thanks, Geezer. PSK31, how you doing? Night and day difference. I wonder what it was, because before I start these, I always reboot my computer and get all the junk out. I don't know what it was. Hi, Alexander and Tennessee Mike. How you guys doing? Okay. What I started to talk about when we were so rudely interrupted by the loss of sound was we were talking about the other sources for a watch. Let me see, here it is, for a watch case. And the what I was wondering is that this is one that I have, and it comes with these little um, case locks. They sort of tie it down, and then here's the back of it. It has a sapphire back and dial cover for it too. So, or glass that they as they may say. Okay, so this is one option, and the reason for it is I'm not sure. I'd have to have, I don't know what kind of skills, but it would probably be more than sort of the simple ones that I have in terms of doing graphics. So what I would really need is someone who has at least some kind of CAD CAM skills. And then we'd need to do it. Hey, Angelo, we'd have to do it in such a way that we'd be sure to have the right dimensions, because that's sort of the big thing with this is getting the dimensions right. Boy, I've gummed this thing up royally now. I can't get it back together. I'll put it back in the bag. There, it's nice and safe. But anyway, I was thinking, looking around and figuring out what to do as far as the case is concerned. The other thing we talked about, have any of you seen? I did look at some Fuzian chains movements, and they have them, but they're mainly for pocket watches. But so is 6497 and 6498, and they're really popular for that. And so maybe yeah, only hand sketches. Yeah, that's this is one of the things. You know what I think I'll ask them. I'll ask them if they have any that have already been done, uh, and sort of tell them what tell them, say, look, guys, uh, this is what we this is what we're trying to do, and we have minimal skills. Uh, we're are pretentious ones at best, and we have a few people who think they have great skills, and that's okay. What do they have that? Okay, all right. Um, Okie doke. There we go. I get all this stuff together, put it back in the bag. All right. No computer generated. Okay. Only. Hey, geezer, everybody back. All right. Good. All right. So, um, the 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 there are a lot of CAD CAM markers. There are a lot of them around. The problem is somebody having the skills to do it and having being able to do it in terms of what we want and having the right dimensions for the movement that we're talking about. So it's this is something for now. Let's put it on the table, okay? And then we can look at other possibilities. If, for example, there are other places that have cases. There's just some German case makers, and they have pretty standard sized cases. And we could ask them if they have one that would fit the Vossure and give them the things for it. Actually, we could. I guess I could go back to on Monday. I could contact Wooten, Lonnen, and Kanan again and say, look, this is where we are, and this is what the movement is, and we really don't have any skills as far as CAD CAM is concerned. So I don't know. We'll see. And say, what do you have that's off the shelf? And so this is sort of what I guess I'm asking now. If there's because people who make watches all the time, Eddie, I know you made your watches. You didn't rebuild an existing watch, did you, Eddie? It's got some movements from China or someplace, and then we've done too much work not to make these. We haven't even begun. Jesus. Oh, this is something listen, the big thing about this is that, listen, we get everything in place, and they're coming up with $30,000, and then we can really do it. Well, I don't want to put us in a position that we're bound to go broke or something. Okay, I agree, Eddie. Okay, everybody agrees. Okay, Junior and Eddie, you guys are going to finance it. All right. Well, okay. I'll check some more and see. Maybe what we could do. Here's an idea: is make one prototype. The problem is that Vossure only sells their movements in groups of 25. I mean, you have the minimum amount you can buy is 25, which means you roughly need to start off and say, okay, we want this one movement. Here's $25,000. Give us 25 of them, and then hope that we can recoup that. That's not an easy thing. Don't they have a blank drawing pro format which you could fill in the blank and send it to them, send the info after? John, maybe they do. I don't know. They could, but that's not what they said. They said, look, we're not going to. I think this is what they're doing. Okay, they want to deal with people who are, their time is valuable to them too, and they don't want to screw around with a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing, like me. Instead, what they want to do is to they want to be sure the people that they spend their time with know what they're doing, so they can sell the cases too. Okay, I did rebuild movements 6497 and 2824. Although with a clock, I'm planning on doing everything as on my own. Well, yeah, okay. Wait a minute. Before you listen, Eddie, if we go ahead with this, you can't go build your clock. We're going to need your help. Okay, forget the clock. See, this is what F.P. Jorn and Michel Parmigiani and all of the other ones, they were working on restoring stuff. I don't think any of them built. Well, F.P. Jorn built a couple. He built a tourbillon just to see if he could do it. But most of the stuff they were doing, they were working on old clocks and some watches, I guess, some of the old ones too, on restoration. Okay, all right, Mark. Most watch developments takes about 2 years. Yeah, and about $1.5 million to develop a new one. But this, I mean, see, maybe an idea for a prototype was see how close we could come with it, find some stuff. Now, there's the other thing that we looked at shortly, and I'll contact my friend on Monday and see if he wants to sell any of them. He's got something like 1,000 fusee and chain movements that are sitting somewhere in his workshop. And I thought, well, boy, a fusee and chain would be cool to have. The problem is they tend to be very thick, and I don't know how thick these are. They may be fairly thin ones, but that might be another way to approach a project that we could do something with. We could maybe take one to begin with, because at least we could get our mitts on a movement, and then find out about the best case size and everything for them, and then make a prototype. Have the dial done. We got. I could talk to this guy. What's it called? V dial or something like that. Once the quarantine's over, so we got some time. Okay. I just did a restoration on my great aunt's watch. I am far from tourbillons. Okay. Hey, Rohit. Okay. I'm going to make my watch case. I'm going to do a 3-piece. Okay. A 3-piece watch. How do you do a 3-piece watch case, Williams? Is it possible to use different brand movements that is the same size as Vaucher? That's a good idea. That's sort of something I had in mind. There's probably some around. I found a source of a bunch of Myotas, and they have a lot of different sizes. And the same thing is true with, I think, most of the other watch things. Try to find something around the same size. The one that we're looking at, though, is an automatic, 3.7 millimeters thick. And so we'd have to find something like that with center seconds. And maybe it might be easy or it might be difficult. But I have all of the specs on the Vaucher. So that's exactly what I was thinking of. In fact, you guys could do it. Why don't you guys can go out and look up, go to Vaucher manufacturer Fleurier, go find a 3004, I think it is, and it's called HMSC for hours, minutes, seconde central, I think. Hey, Panos, what's up? Nice to see you too. After a long day of coding, this is the best thing to follow. Coding. Oh, good. How are things going in Greece? Everything okay there? Hope so. Here, this is so weird. The national news in the U.S. emanates out of New York, and what's happening in New York is what's happening in New York. But a lot of times people think, well, that must be the world, or the whole country. And what's happening out in places like Oklahoma aren't the same thing as New York City, and the things that are happening in rural Connecticut aren't the same things as New York or Greece or Italy or any place else. And from what I understand, and they keep revising this because they didn't do the kind of testing that needs to be done, is that they say, well, you're going to get your peak later on. Okay. And ask them for a case choice. Okay. So you're doing a high quality movement in a non-bespoke case. Blake, look, do you know CAD-CAM? If you know CAD-CAM, you can do a 3D rendering of it, then we can move ahead with this other one. Basically what we're talking about. I think one of the things, Blake, is that these things are not something that you can do without a lot of workup stuff. I mean, a whole lot. Uh, Years ago, when I started a publishing company, my God, the stuff that I didn't know was incredible. And you keep finding out more and more. And the same thing, I think what we're doing here with going through all of this process and finding out what's involved, even as simple, really, when you stop and think about it, what we're doing is fairly simple because we have the movement by somebody else will make it. We've got the case by somebody else will make it. Got the dial, an enamel dial. And so basically, all we're talking about is putting these parts together. But the process that's involved for the people doing it, I mean, it's sort of like sitting in publishing and be like an author sitting in all these blank pages and says, go ahead and fill in the gaps. And essentially, this is what Woutenland and Caton are asking to do is fill in the pages. So we're, the idea that, I don't know, everything's got to be just so is, I don't think we can quite do that. So using 18 karat gold, I'm doing some sketches. Okay. The case back, the center, and the bezel. Oh, okay, I get it. I see the 3 parts you're using now. Let's see. Hey, Tim, I've used CAD CAM. Okay. If this is something, if you want to give us a CAD CAM version of it, that'd be great. I can send you in fact, I think I did already, gave everybody the specs on it, but I can tell you where to get them or give them to you. Do you know anything about the company Gub Glashütte, Jersey? Yeah, they were sort of under when the Soviets were in Eastern Germany, they were sort of a big grouping. And I think a lot of them sort of that came out of that. Glashütte Original, I think, was sort of one of the cores of it. But that's about it. That's the very sketchy understanding of it. Rohit is our savior. Oh, look out, Rohit. I would rather have a solid case with a case back. Okay. SolidWorks and Pro Engineer are 2 tools I have some experience with, but I don't have the software. Let's see what else is doing. I say, assume the company you contacted manufactures specific case design and not pre-machine cases. I don't know. You guys ask all these questions. First of all, I've got to communicate with them in French. That's one thing. Second of all, their website doesn't have, it's basically contact us. It's a terrible website. It really doesn't give you very much information. So, still in quarantine, but things seem steady. Hope everything goes well for you in the USA and all around the world. Yeah, same here. Okay, if we are taking hand soldered teardrop lugs, the price of the cases will be more than the Vaucher. Okay, Fahrenheit 451. That's important to know. It'd be $1,000 a case because they are hand soldered, and I don't think they would be more than the Vaucher Fahrenheit because Ophion uses exactly that case, and the whole watch, including the movement and everything else, and the Deloche and they make their own hands it's like about $2,000 or so. What do you think about Oris? I like Oris. The Oris is Oris. What are the ones? The ones with their new movement is really impressive. Okay, are you taking tomorrow off for Easter? Oh, I think the Easter bunny's in isolation too, John. I don't know if you guys want to take Easter off, that's fine with me. We'll vote. Okay, raise your hand if you want to take Easter off. Do you wear a mask when you go out? Yeah. Most of the time, well, what I do is that geezer when I'm driving, I don't have it on, and then I'll take it off and put it back on. I had to go out to my accountant, and he lives, I don't know, about 10 miles away. And so I drove out to his place, put my mask on, gave him my paperwork, got back in the car, and came home. That was it. When my wife and I go for a walk, we walk about a 2 mile walk, but we found a route that very few people use. They put in a bike path and walking path nearby. It's really a great place because there are no cars to dodge or anything like that. But if we go down there, are all these people who like to use it, and they're not very smart about social distancing, let alone wearing a mask. So we go off we go down. We go down the main road because there are no cars, and there are hardly any people because they're all at the other bike paths. We've been doing that, and if somebody comes near, put the mask on. I don't like those masks though. I had one on earlier today and still don't like it. Teardrop lugs would be very nice. I agree, Angelo. I guess I could contact going back to him because the Ophion, say, look, I know what size their movement is, and so I could take a look at their movement and then take a look at the one from Vossure, or find a center seconds movement from Vossure that has close to the same dimensions, and see about doing something like that. Okay. Better safe than sorry. I agree. Yep, yep, yep. Oh, I keep the thing on, keep the mask on when I'm out and about. My car, I'm not going to wear it in a car. And if the cops try to stop me, I'll run for it. That's the thing. We all look like bank robbers. Let's see. Hey, Joseph, what is the internal height of the case? It's 3.7 millimeters. Well, the movement is 3.7 millimeters. Um, oh, the Fusi chains are at least 16 millimeters thick. Whoa, boy, that you're probably right. That was the problem with the Fusi chain. Let's see. Okay. The Easter Bunny will be here tomorrow. Okay. Well, listen. So I'm not the Easter Bunny. I'm expendable, so I only go to watch on weekends. Definitely, they are worth wearing while you're out. Yeah, I agree. You got to wear the things, but if you're in your car and you're driving someplace and there's nobody around you, um, I don't wear it. And as soon as I get out of my car, I put the stupid thing on and do what I have to do, and then go back. Boy, going to the grocery store, that's where they're really important. I always have it on in the grocery store or any store that I go into, but we don't go in very much. We were last week. We went out and got 2 weeks worth of groceries, and so we don't have to go out for another week now, and which is sort of nice. I don't know. Well, what do you guys want to do? It is Easter Sunday tomorrow, and some people uh, maybe we ought to sort of take a break for Easter Sunday. Is that the idea? Because nobody's. I know the churches aren't working except they have it on TV, and so I don't know. I'm not sure what you want. Nobody's voting. I haven't seen anybody raise their hand one way or the other. Let's have a vote, okay? All right. Why don't we do it this way? If you want to have a video tomorrow, type yes. If you think it's not a good idea, type no. Okay. About 50% aren't wearing masks when they are out. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, um, that is the problem. Okay, Mark. Yes. All right, Angelo, the mask. Okay. Oh boy. I have no preference because I don't celebrate. Your call. You don't believe in the Easter Bunny, Eddie? I do. I'm not a religious person. My wife is really religious, but not me. What are your thoughts on the idea of liquidating all the watches and consolidating to one of Roger Smith before early Journe Tourbillon? I'd be for it. I mean, if someone said, "Look, I'll give you one Dufour Singularity for your entire collection," I'd do it without even thinking twice. That's what I think of that. I would really have to wince several times. There's a couple of watches I'd hide and I'd pretend I didn't have them, but other than that, I wouldn't mind. Okay. Hey, Bubba. So I guess it's tomorrow. Well, I tell you, the Easter services are going to be on television. Even the Pope is having his Easter service on, instead of having it in St. Peter's Square. He's going to have it. I guess he just televise it. Okay, all right. I guess it's. We'll just keep on regular schedule then. Okay, how about this? Should we, I was thinking, what would be a good topic? Where do you want to go with this? Other ideas about going ahead with creating this watch? No. What would be the next thing to figure out? Let me put it that way. Stuck, Mark. Okay, well, let's see how we. Oh my goodness, I got on way over, even with our extra time that we had. All right, well, listen. Why don't you do this? Why don't we think about it between now and tomorrow? And it's, yeah, very hard. Everything is closed. You're right. Um, so is the strap already discussed? Some, Angelo, yeah, we have talked about it, and a number of people had some ideas about that. Um, let's see, what else do we have? We've talked about. We sort of decided on a onion crown. I think, is everybody for the onion crown? See if I got an onion crown around here somewhere. Was that what we liked? Some sort of overall agreement on a different design on this could be a start. Okay, why don't we do that tomorrow then, Fahrenheit? Okay, we'll start with we'll say, all right, we'll sort of make a list of things. Yeah, this is where we are right now. That is the sort of flattened onion shaped crown. The lugs, man, I tell you, I don't know. A soldered lug somehow doesn't sound very strong to me, but it might be. And if you look at Kerry Wooten Lonen's watches, they all look very much like this. And I got a feeling that's where the guys at Ophion got the idea, and I got the idea from them. Syringe hands. Let's see. Syringe hands. I don't know. People were pretty well wanted the Breguet hands. Trying to think how syringe hands though might work with this sort of metropolis looking thing. Platinum case. No, Blake. Pontifial hands. I'm not sure what they are. Breguet hands. Yeah, that's what we had decided that we're going to have. Onion-shaped crown is good. Okay, listen, guys, I got to go. We'll talk about this tomorrow, and you can bring an Easter bunny with you. Sort of a religious Easter. Okay. Oh, also too, there's we got Passover is going on too. So all right, and there's any other religious observation that someone wants to have. Cool. Take care and be safe, everyone.